Welcome everyone, it's Rowdy, and as I mentioned earlier today, I would work on some teams for Vernalis, and I've got 4 or 5, I call it 4.5. Team 4 is basically the best team I could find in the limited amount of time that I did this for early to mid game players that don't have certain mythics, because the only mythic you'll need for Team 4 is Vernalis. By now we all know which we all figured out before, it's just a support troop. I'm not a big fan of support troops, only for the fact that you can never get an extra turn with a support troop like this, and it kind of just breaks up everything. But I've done all my testing in D12 in a few different kingdoms, and I'll do 1 or 2 runs or explores for each team depending on how well they go. If I have a really bad one, I'll do a second one. I haven't had too many bad runs with any of these teams. That's 4.5. You can't look at that one yet. The first one I've got here, this may not be the most optimal banner, but it might be. I don't know. And I'm going with Barbarian, which starts with the Forest Talent Tree, and on level 70 has the Lightning Strike. It does not start out with Entangle. At least I don't believe so. I should probably look. Oh yeah, actually it does. My bad. I don't know what I was thinking. So anyways, I've got Thrall up front, who's my mana gen, and I don't normally like putting Thrall up front, but when you cast Vernalis, you're going to get extra attack and probably some life for Thrall. Yasmin's Chosen, which does scatter damage boosted by entangled enemies, create 10 green gems, and entangles a random enemy when matching green, which, as we can see, Vernalis also entangles a random enemy when matching green, but we also get Fairy Fire from Vernalis. And Life and Death, I was kind of just putting this in here just because I wasn't really sure what else I wanted to use at the moment, so I'm kind of just using this. And then Vernalis, the new one, give 48 attack to the first 2 allies, life to the 2 weakest, and 10 magic to the 2 strongest. Bonus green mana from green gem matches. And I believe that should be all the interesting parts about this team. So let's go ahead and hit it real quick and see what happens. On this team, you really just need to get Thrall up the first time, and you'll be doing pretty well. And I am using 2 niches and 1 Anu. If you don't have 2 niches, you can use Season Medals. You'll be just fine. The 1 Anu medal does help you with just a little bit of extra mana to start. And I will always take that. And when you don't start out with at least 1 purple match, it kind of just slows everything down, and then you're like, oh, that's no fun. And then we cast Vernalis, which is nice. We get, extra attack. And basically with this team, I'm just trying to loop a little bit with Yasmin. And if I don't see enough green gems, and I'm not worried if they get a 4 or 5 match of something or take a few skulls. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, that's enough turns for them. As you can see, this is not a fast team, which is unfortunate. But it is pretty safe, Look at the life, look at the attack and whatnot. I have had fights with this team that go way, way faster. But that gives you an idea of that team. Let's go to Team 2. This one I switched up to Archer, and this one is because Archer also has the Cunning talent tree with it, which is a Hunter's Mark on a random enemy on a 4 or 5 kind. So I've got Web Spinner up front, which does damage to all enemies, poison them, and create 9 green gems. It will web before doing skull damage. It does triple skull damage to poisoned and webbed enemies. And then I have Doomed Club, which is basically just to finish off whatever I can. You could use different weapons here and you'd probably be okay. And Vernalis again, and Leprechaun for mana start. And let's see how this one goes. And all I can say is for having a Leaf Storm, I sure don't have much green on the board. I sure don't have much green on the board, because I really would love to cast that. But we'll just cast Vernalis again, which is fine, because this is going to one-shot any troop. And now it's going to be even higher. Let's see. Oh, there we go. And that team worked out pretty well. With only having one Skullmaker in it, that's all you need is one opening where you can get an extra turn, and sometimes Web Spinner can just take down the whole team. Let's go to Team 3. This one I'm back on Barbarian again. And I have Warlord's Battle Cry in here, only for the fact that it doesn't overlap any colors, and most players would have this. I also thought about using Flesh Ripper. I would probably use Flesh Ripper if I wasn't doing this video. And then Thrall. And King Bloodwood, who does heavy splash damage, boosted by Entangled and Bleeding enemies. And Entangle and Bleed is each a +8, and then steal 10 life from all enemies. And Entangle and Inflict Bleed on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems, and then Vernalis down here. I'm using Barbarian because, you know, you're going to get Entangles from this, and you're also going to get Explosion on level 70. Lightning Strike, they call it. So, let's see. I am not worried about skulls. I really should have taken that purple match when I had it. And as soon as they do that, they took the only purple match on the board. Why am I not surprised? Alright. As I said, they can take the skulls. I'm not overly concerned with it. Now I might be a little bit. And still no purple matches. I'm not sure how this happens sometimes. Okay. Thank you for the red that I don't really need. But as you can see, he's doing 184 damage. You almost might as well cast this because it does damage and then damage equal to the enemy's attack, which it's entangled, so it doesn't make any sense to do that. And that is that team. I don't see a need to do 2 runs with each of these teams. This is already going to be a long enough video. And here's the team for early to mid-game players. I'm using Titan on this one, Mountain Crusher, which explodes brown gems. And 2 Gargoyles. Does splash damage to an enemy, boosted by all allies' attack, explode 2 gems. And Vernalis down here on the bottom, who's going to add magic and attack. And I thought about pairing up, not on this team itself. What am I looking for? Actually looking for brown here. And that's why there's no brown matches on the board, even though we have a Dust Storm to start. As I was saying, I thought, well, is there a way I can work Queen Beatrix into this? You probably could, but every time you cast Vernalis, it just stops right there. Oh, I like that one. When they do those wonderful things. I don't like that, but that's okay. One more, and then we'll go ahead and just kill everything off. That works for me. And one more team, which is kind of an offshoot of this team. It's just got another mythic instead of the 2 gargoyles. And Earth's Fury, which will eliminate all armor from an enemy, does damage, give all allies 2 attack boosted by armor eliminated, blah blah. And Ketris, who does splash damage to an enemy boosted by my attack, life, and armor. And since 2 people are getting attack and 2 people are getting life from Vernalis, Ketris hits like a tank. So I have not, I have not looked very hard for a Skull Spam team with Vernalis, only because I think trying to make a Skull Spam team with Vernalis, when you're trying to put this right, cast this spell right in the middle, it just seems like it would slow the whole team down. Do that on the edge. And we can probably cast this. Oh, gonna need one more skull. And we are finished. So that's 4.5, 5 teams for you to play around with. Go ahead and post your teams. I'm sure a lot of you out there have probably come up with better teams than I have, and I'd love to see them. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.